Yeah, there they are right there. And just real quick, we went ahead and just set an eyeball in there. Alright, welcome back everybody to the World's Worst Fishing. I'm Chris Jones. Thanks for being here today and checking out another video. We have an exciting video today because it's new mold day, but first I want to say happy Thanksgiving everybody. I'm actually filming this after Thanksgiving. Sorry. So I actually just got back from Thanksgiving vacation or break. So I don't know when I'm going to have this video out, but as of today, yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Hope everyone had a great holiday and got to spend very important time with family, and I hope you were very thankful for it. So today we have the cousin, the little cousin or the little brother to the G5 mold. It's time to check out the G4. I've never seen it. I just got the box in the mail right here, and we're ready for action. Let's go check it out. All right, everybody, might be some background noise. My daughter Hadley's playing kind of out in front of the garage here. With that said, let's unbox these. You can see that they are still wrapped up. Let's check them out. All right. Okay. Yeah. So it looks to be the same. Looks to be the same plate as the other AI 4-incher, and we have some of those out here that we can compare and contrast. Yeah, okay. Looking good. Alright, last one. We're going to have 3 of these for today's video. Oop, there it is. Okay, excellent. Alright, we'll move those aside. Bring these down here. So, my first impression is I like how wide he was able to keep the tops, right? Okay, what that says to me is that despite this being a very small bait, it's going to be very pourable. Okay, there's lots of room to play with. So let's go ahead and open one up and check it out. All right, before we actually open it, yes, it is the same plate as the current 4-incher, right? So there's sort of a top profile view of it. So you can see at its widest point, it's actually a little bit wider in this. The tail may get a smidge more narrow, but even that seems to be wide enough to be very comfortably pourable, since the original 4-incher is also very pourable. So let's open her up here and take a look. Yeah, look at that. There she is, G4. And has all of the features that we love from the G5, including that scaling pattern. It has the eyeball kind of, let's see, what was I calling that before? It sort of has that eyebrow ridge, okay? Yep, all the facial pattern, scaling pattern. Has the little fin back here, the anal fin. Oh yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. There's only one minor difference. If you can't tell, there's actually a little bit of a ridge here. Well, it keeps going out of focus, to allow for the hook slot insert to fit comfortably, particularly a delete insert, so that you can also pour this mold solid body. So much like the G5, you can pour this one slotted belly, or you can pour it solid body. Okay, so here's a G5 right here. All right, so let's get these two halves going right there. All right, so there's a size comparison, of course. Okay, so being that the G4 is a 4-inch bait, we are going to want to pour this bait almost exclusively in Dead on Plastics Black Bucket Swimbait blend. Okay, so that's a medium durometer plastic. So whatever plastisol you're using, I would recommend you go with right down the middle medium blend. Now, I have seen swim footage of this bait in craw tube. It swims excellent in craw tube as well, but Swimbait blend is going to be my happy medium. Now, this black crappie pattern that we're about to do with the foils and the paints and all of these, you know, complicated stuff, it requires an outer capsule, okay? So we're going to be using the capsule method and several other methods. I actually like to capsule a small bait in craw tube blend, which just gives me a little bit more firm of a canvas to work with, and then we'll pour the body in Swimbait blend. So that's kind of something that I do often. So even in the G5 or the AI 5-inch mold, I'm going to pour those molds in Swimbait blend, but if I have to pour an outer layer or an outer capsule, I want to do that in a firmer blend like Craw Tube. It just gives that bait a little bit more lifespan, but it does not affect the action because the tail section is still poured in Swimbait. So that's kind of just a little tip for you guys. Alright, so I have the molds opened and ready for action. So let's go ahead and take a look at the listing for the mold. This one's already released. AI G4 open pore Swimbait mold. There it is right there, of course. $89, which I believe is down from $99 on the G5. Yep, so here is some of the product details. And yeah, so there it is. Right there, there's the listing. Boom! So you can go ahead and grab this mold if you like what you see. So we're going to take our tube blend here, cook it up, and then we're going to start pouring our capsules. Alright, so this is our capsule plastic, and one thing we want to do is we want to add flake. Alright, because anything, if we know anything about black crappie patterns, or just any crappie pattern, it's that black splotches and specks are part of it, right? I mean, you know, down here in the South, we call crappie specks. So we want to add our black specks. Alright, let's get the first capsule down, which is just essentially a layer of plastic in this half of the mold, okay? So we're going to start, I like to start here in the tail, okay? And just pour it down. Alright, let it fill in the head and just kind of dump it out. Alright? And that's what you're left with, okay? It's just a layer of plastic in the mold. Alright, all we're doing is just covering this side of the mold. That's it. Perfect, just like that, and then we're just going to dump it out. Flip it over, dump out the rest of it, alright? And so we're sort of left with that going on. You can see we have a little bit of overspill here on the top. That's nothing more than just taking your thumb, running it down the side, and you can get this stuff right off. So, but anyway, that is the start. And we have to do that for every half of every mold, obviously. Yeah, looking good. Alright, so here comes the part that takes a lot of patience, alright? So this is gold leafing, right? So you can find it at any craft store. It'll be sold maybe as gold leafing, or in some cases golden foil. You know, they also make silver, they make orange, they make all sorts of colors that you can use. And there's no quick, easy way to do it. Alright, I like to get some on my finger and just kind of press it on there, alright? But then I want to scuff it, okay? I want to take my fingernail and I want to just scuff it up and break it up, okay? So see how that's now kind of broken up a little bit? I find that to look really good because the foils can dominate. And what happens is if you put a big thick piece of foil down, you can't see anything behind it, right? But when you scuff it up, you now have the foil effect, but you're going to see whatever else you layer on top of that. So I don't want my foil to be too dominant. And so that's sort of how I can keep that from happening and sort of keep the foil in check, is to basically scuff it up, right? So there again, we don't want to add too much, maybe a little bit more on this one. I'm going to scuff it a little bit here and there, all right? And that's about it, right? That's not a lot. But there again, less is more. And you know, this stuff is real sticky. You cannot have the fan blowing on you at all, or else it'll just blow it away. So you know, just little bits at a time, little bits and pieces at a time, to me, really do it. Yeah, there it is, just like that. We got them foiled up. Yeah, maybe one more piece right there. So anyway, next is the dotting paint, and this is LureWorks SB Coat dotting paint. This works really well for just adding little intricate details of paint. Now, This is not a paint that goes in an airbrush. This is specifically made to be hand applied to plastisol based lures. I don't know if it works on silicones or not. However, it is solvent based, so you do not want to breathe this stuff. You have to take precaution. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to show you how we apply the dotting paint, which is with this little sponge, also from the craft store. And we're going to show you that right now. Alright, so what I like to do is just pour a little bit of it in the cap, because a little goes such a long way. I don't need much. And so actually what I want to do here is, well, you know what, that might not be the right piece. But I essentially just want to dab the tip of my sponge in there, okay? You can see how thick this stuff is. And then I kind of want to spread it out on something, right? So I'm just using an old plastic puck. Because if I spread it out, that's going to thin it out on my sponge, because I don't want it to be too overpowdering, alright? And now I'm literally just going to, at random, just start splotching it in. Alright, get some more on. Okay. Random splotches. I'm just going to be kind of turning the sponge all different directions. Yeah. And just sort of splotching it in. Okay. Right? So now we have sort of a random splotchy pattern with the black. Right? Up under, because you're going to be looking at it from this side. So that's technically up under that gold foil. And that's all we're doing. It goes quick because you don't have to be too precise. You know, we want to be organically sloppy, right? So there is a method to it, but we want it to kind of look random as nature intended, right? So we're just going to be splotching this stuff on there. Splotchy splotch. Okay. About like that. There it is. That's literally all you got to do. And then we're just going to go down the line. So there again. Kind of brush the tip of that. That way you're not gooping on too much paint at once. You can see this one came on a little bit thicker. Okay, but we just want to keep splotching. Random splotches. Alright, and now for some of this green mica powder. Beautiful shade. It's not a fancy color shift. It's not anything crazy or expensive or rare. It's just some really pretty green mica powder. Alright. And so we want to lightly dust, okay? So I'm not just gooping the powder on it, right? We're just kind of dipping the brush in the powder and then spreading it out, okay? And then we want to lightly brush in some green where we want to see some green, okay? But as you can see, very light. Alright? Very, very, very light. Now it sounds like the neighbor's kids are out playing. Alright, so if we look at this, whole thing, there's not much green there. Alright? However, because it's a mica powder, see from a different angle, now we can see that there's more green there than meets the eye. Alright? So less is more. Less is more with the foil, less is more with the black splotching paint, and less is more with the green powder. Alright, so we're going to do one more for you guys, at least on camera. Alright, and I'll show you the difference in how I'm doing this right here, in terms of how light of a green coat I'm using versus a heavy green coat. Okay, here's some leftover blue highlight. Alright, so how we're doing this right now is super light like that, okay? Here's what we're doing. We're putting it on really light versus doing something like this and really rubbing it in with lots of it, right? You know, just see the difference there. Less is more. Less is almost always more in lure making, especially when you want it to look natural. Normally less is more. That's always going to be your friend, always. Yeah, so as you can see, almost all of the pattern is in the capsule, right? None of that is really poured, okay? You know, we're not skin pouring. we're doing other things, right? It's all hand inlaid, hand applied. So now we actually are going to do some pouring. So now we're going to close the molds, we're going to fire them up on the hot plate, then we're going to pour sort of a white pearl see-through belly, and then sort of a charcoal black top. Alright, here we go. White pearl bellies. Obviously I have not poured the G-4 yet, so I'm not exactly sure how high to pour a belly color. So we're just kind of winging it. I think this one's going to have to be poured well over the hook slot. The hook slot was, it appeared a little lower in the cavity than say the G5 slot. So we're going to, you know what, let me take a look at that and see if we need to pour more. Yeah, okay, that looked about right. So basically we're pouring it just until it gets it back into that anal fin cavity, which covers up the hook slot. So the G5, now that I've had some more practice with it since our first video, I like to pour it just under the top of that hook slot. So yeah, I think that right there is going to work just fine. Alrighty, let's top one off. And again, the body is in Swimbait blend, and the capsule was in tube blend. Yeah, there it is. Alrighty. Well, we're going to top the other two off and cut them off. We've been cooking these at about 265, which gets them good and hot enough to bond, you know, the body layers, but not so hot that you start to kind of like remelt your capsule layer, which can cause like divots and problems in the surface. So hopefully these turn out, you know, but even with a lot of experience, it's always a fingers crossed with hand pouring. You never know how it's going to turn out till it's over. Alright, so the G4s are on the hot plate cooling down, but I wanted to show you guys a really awesome color in the G5 that we did recently. So this is sort of a blueback herring match, right? So awesome belly color there. That's just a smidge of blue highlight. And then the vein is a mixture of dead shift 24 karat with a little bit of brown to sort of take the edge off of it. Just, I don't know, to me it just needed some brown. And then the top here, sorry, there's just like a lot of glare. The top is a charcoal base, much like the one that we just did, but we added some dead shift lilac and some blurple to get those two kind of purples in it. And man, does it really come out nice. Alright everybody, new mold, first time ever, gotta do a drum roll. Drum roll please. Okay, let's open her up. Alright, let's see what happens. See what side it's going to come out on, do we think? Come on. I don't want to like pull it too hard and accidentally rip the tail. It's got a thin tail, so we just want to make sure that we're doing this gingerly. Okay, it's going to come out on that side, I think. Okie doke. Oh yeah. Look at that. Well, the tail's a little out of the... Oh my gosh. That looks better than I thought. Look at that. Wow. And just real quick, we went ahead and just set an eyeball in there just to give you the full effect. That's a 6mm fish skull earth eye for anyone interested. Heck yeah. Awesome stuff. Yeah, there it is. Sorry for all the glare. There we go. Well, we were gonna try and take the G-4 out into the world, but it has been raining all morning long, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. Yeah, so we kind of took that blueback herring pattern that I showed you in the G5, and we did sort of a version of it here in the G4. Yeah. Sorry, lighting's a little dim in here today, but yeah, look at that. Yeah, there they are right there. Looking good, right? And those are the colors you'll need right there. So this blurple actually was sent to me before you even had labels printed, but you'll need these two as well. Alright, so unfortunately we had to wait an entire week to get to this point in the video to be able to film. Had a very busy week, and now we have just a very short window of opportunity to film the G4 in the water for you guys. We have about 48 straight hours of rain coming our way to Tallahassee, and it's just about 40 or 50 miles to the west of us right now. So I am hurrying down to the nearest watering hole to try to get some action footage of this bait. This is not a very good pond in terms of my probability to get a fish catch. Where I took the G5, you know, we got that bass on camera. So I'm not quite as confident in that where I'm going, but I'm going to the quickest place I can to get some footage. So we will see you guys there in just a minute. All right, so we've had a lot of rain in this pond. Obviously, it's a little murky, but I think we've got a little stretch here. And here is that sort of that purple blueback pattern rigged up on a size 4 swimbait hook right there. Yeah, that rig's awesome. However, we're going to throw a chartreuse version like we always do, just for visibility purposes, and we're going to run it right down this ditch. Okay, now let's look at this. We probably won't be able to see it as much in the water. You know, we've got a lot of wind that's coming across the surface of the water. But here's what a more, I guess, desirable color in this mold would look like. Hopefully we can get some, sorry about the focus, guys. Hopefully we can get some shots. Alright, so we just got back from our swim tests, and this right here is the hook that we were using. So for the G5 swim bait that we did in a previous video, we were throwing the same hook but a size 6 for the G5. So the G4 here is technically 4.2. I didn't know that at the beginning of the video, but I do now, so it's exactly 4.2. And this hook right here, the size 4 wide gap, weighted superline hook, fit that really well, and the action was absolutely incredible. You know, if you use a hook that's too big and the hook shank goes a little bit too far back, you know, with that rigid hook covering more area of the body, you'll actually get a little bit less movement overall. So, you know, to me, this is the perfect size. You also don't want to go too small, because then the hook point will be so far up front, you're going to miss a lot of bites on short strike. So you want to try to get a hook that's going to come out of the back, far enough back to actually hook those fish, but not so far back that you're now inhibiting, you know, the movement of the bait to only the back of the tail. You want the whole bait to move as one, best that you can. So that's what I would recommend for that. All right, everybody. Well, we made it home before the rains hit, so that was sort of the goal, was to get all this done. Now I just got to do a few more things around the house before it hits. Hopefully you can see I must have brushed the blue pigment bottle by accident. As a bait maker, you find colors all over yourself at random, and you're like, how the heck did that happen? Or you find glitter in your hair, on your nose, you know, all over your face. But anyway, yeah, guys, the G-4 is awesome. Sorry I could not get this video out a little bit sooner. Feel like I kind of dropped the ball there, but you know, circumstances happen, and I just was not able to get it coming back from Thanksgiving break to get all this filmed in time. So we did what we could, but I'm very happy with how the baits turned out. I've been wanting to show that foil crappie pattern now for a while. A lot of people have been asking about that, you know, and it's funny. I did foils and capsules and brushing in paints, you know, 3-4 years ago on the channel, but you know, we've gained a lot of subscribers and new viewers and new bait makers since then that may not have gone back and watched some of those old videos, and it's been a long time since I've done foils on camera. So that was a really nice refresher for me to film that. So hopefully some of y'all can take that idea and run with it. It's super fun. I mean, anything to do with foreign materials, whether you're adding mylar flakes or glitter films, foils, dotting paints, you can put all sorts of stuff in there. Mylar tubing, anything you want, really, you can pretty much put in a bait. So that's definitely something to keep in mind and have fun with. Like I said, the G-4 is 4.2. We looked at the listing earlier. The mold's already available, so go check it out. A lot of you already have it. But hey, now it is officially in the World's Worst Fishing video archive, and I'm glad to be able to have done this video. So anyways, hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. We are now rolling into the Christmas season, so I hope everybody has a great Christmas season. Be on the lookout for more videos. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll see you in the next one.